Warning! This podcast may contain intense visions. What's up, everyone, and welcome to the ASOTVpodcast for iZombie Season 3, Episode 9, 20-Sided Die. I'm your host, Dom. With me, we have Nikki and L'Oreal herself. Kim.
Yeah, I got a fan going.
Yeah, she's totally in like a nice shampoo commercial. I see it. So, yeah, what'd you guys think of this episode?
I really like they sat down and actually played the D&D game.
I mean, that was the only way Liv was going to get her vision, but I think because I haven't really been in an immersive D&D setting, I've played D&D and I played it a lot. It's just that all the DMs we have, they don't get into character. They explain things in great amount of detail, and all the other players, they don't like start talking in accents like Ravi did or anything. So like for me, that aspect of Dungeons and Dragons was actually kind of like draining on me. I was sitting there like, oh, this is ridiculous. Like, oh, I want to puke kind of
Some
thing.
people do play like that though.
I on the other hand, deal with this every week.
Yeah,
accents and
yeah.
Just before we went live here, Kim was playing D&D. I did some research and watched her. So, yeah, there's some of that going on.
That was the only. That's like the only part of this particular episode that I was like pulling my teeth. Where like Liv was just super exuberantly like, I have to narrate every part of my life as if it were a D&D campaign. Like that was just like I was like, oh god, please stop.
It was a little much when it was like every aspect of her life. I do.
Yeah.
Agree.
Yeah, well, that's the whole point. It's to take her personality and put it over the top because we don't deal with it often, you know? It's every personality, throw it into overdrive, get it out of the way, get every joke you can, squeeze everything out of it, and then it's gone, you know? But, yeah, we had Dungeon Master Dan here who died drinking wine and had a rare poison in his chalice that actually killed him.
Glycerin?
Yeah, something like that.
It was with the G.
Yeah.
We actually did not find out who killed him.
No, FBI took over.
Yeah, FBI took over, but you know that doesn't. Before all that, we had Liv take the brain, and she's sitting there rolling a 20-sided die for everything that she could possibly do.
Yeah, that was a little much too.
And, you know, one of her first visions was when she saw how furious everyone was when they lost all of their characters in a session. And all started yelling at Dan. So instantly, you know, they start thinking it's one of them.
Yeah. So
they go and question the three guys involved, Jimmy, Diego, and Steve. Jimmy is the sketch artist from the police station. It
was from the Dominatrix episode.
Yeah, we find sketches.
Who sketched Liv as a Dominatrix.
Of Dominatrix Liv and him and Zoe together. Very well drawn, I must say. Then we had Diego, who had a Zoe breathing dragon on his back.
Never get someone's name tattooed.
No. And then we had the return of Steve, the goth vampire.
We still don't know who the actor is. Do we look that up this time?
I don't know. Do you recognize him from somewhere else?
I don't.
Steve Weber.
That's
not him.
That's not him.
That's Von de Clark.
We know that Vampire Steve.
We got pictures.
He wasn't goth before. He's only been goth since he met Zoe.
Look, got a name.
Ket Turton.
Yeah. Let's see. Cat turn.
Whoa, he looks a lot different there.
Mm-hmm.
It does. Yeah.
You look pretty.
Let me throw this picture up because would not
Yeah.
recognize him otherwise.
No, I would not. Holy crap.
That is
That's a
Vampire Steve
big
right there.
difference.
That is vampire. I can see in some of his other pictures, I can see his facial structure, but like with the hair and the makeup that they do on him, it's just like, no way, Jose, that does not look like him.
Yeah.
Wow.
He was actually
Supernatural.
in Supernatural. He was in 2 episodes of Supernatural.
Jessica Jones,
Wow.
The Flash.
Yeah.
He was, huh. All right.
Yeah, he's been in a bit. He played Benny in Gotham. So yeah, that
Very
guy's been in a lot. I know we were like going, oh, we really need to see more of him, and it's just like a lot of these shows that I see him listed and I've watched.
He was in Blade.
He's in Blade Trinity. He played Dingo.
Wow.
So he's in
He's
Walking
in
Tall
Walking
with The
Tall.
Rock.
Jeez.
Played Kenner.
They're like me. That's an old. Oh man. I
Yeah.
just like that show.
He's in Smallville. Wow, he's been in a lot.
He just looks so different in iZombie. It was really hard to pinpoint
Well,
what.
look at him. I mean, look at that picture compared to what he looks like.
Yeah.
Just,
Exactly. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. But yeah, Return of Vampire Steve, we find out he wasn't always goth.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, apparently they all had this thing for Zoe. Which when they go to talk to Zoe, they find that there is a missing painting from Dungeon Master Dan's house, which was the Ogden Twiddly Hut and the Valiant Men of the Golden Glen, which was on sale in the comic book shop for $5,000, which apparently Zoe won off Dan in a bet.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Or some cosplay session.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah.
Yeah, a payment for, yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's it had to be multiple sessions because they appraised the painting for 10 grand at first, and they're selling it for half price in the shop. So,
Yeah. I don't know. We do have Clive in the shop picking out the Flash comic book, showing his interest in that. And Brian asked in chat, was the Flash comic supposed to be a reference to the Flash TV show? And if that's the case, does that mean we could see a crossover sometime in the future?
no.
It's a whole different world.
I wouldn't say no.
Completely different comic book universe. I mean, yes, they're
wouldn't say
both on
no.
the CW. They can throw references back and forth, but I don't think I could see them ever doing like a physical crossover. I can see them referencing each other, but I don't see them walking into each other's screen.
What I could see is because the Flash deals with what is known as the multiverse, right? And the Flash can go Earth to Earth to Earth to Earth in, like one of the characters in there, Cisco, can literally create a portal to another Earth, and they can just go through them. And we've seen Cisco fighting and just in a battle opening portals up to different Earths and just rolling around.
That's true.
I could 100% see the characters falling into the set of the iZombie morgue at one point, and just having like Ravi look over and be like, the hell is going on here? And then they just like in and out, and it's just like a little tiny like blip, but not like a whole full crossover episode. I could see that happening, especially with the CW.
I mean, whatever comic, I think it's not Dark Horse that writes the iZombie series, it's something else, but it is kind of an offshoot of DC Comics, right? Yeah, Vertigo, DC Entertainment and stuff like that. So, yeah, I guess you could possibly get like a little blip crossover, but I don't see like a full crossover episode at all. That's just, it's the wrong kind of meshing of genres.
Yeah, I mean they're both DC.
Yes.
Vertigo and they like iZombie is a DC property. They could 100% do it. It is totally in the realm of possibilities. Just having iZombie exist in the multiverse of the Flash. 100% could happen. I could just see that now if they did that. If it was even a 1-second clip, on that, all of a sudden now, all of the Arrowverse now has to like take iZombie into it. Like the whole iZombie wiki would just get melded into the Arrowverse wiki because it's technically canon. Like that, you'd see that stuff. It'd be crazy. So, but I would love it. I really would.
I mean, that would mean that Veronica Mars is also part of the Arrow. Like, well, it's connected to iZombie. They reference the actual character Veronica Mars. She actually exists in this particular universe.
I don't remember actual mention of Veronica Mars. They've done references, as in like the show has alluded to it, as in like it's the same team, same production company, and they're making in-jokes about their own thing. They cast a lot of the same people.
Maybe that's where I'm getting mixed up.
Yeah, no, Veronica Mars is not in the same universe as far as I know. Anyway. But yeah, it's a possibility. And we really get to see Clive's like nerdy side with that. And seeing that translates very well now into the D&D session that they had.
Mm-hmm.
Because you have Clive, who seems like he's like a kind of a closet nerd. And we have Ravi, who he is a huge nerd. But for whatever reason, this episode, he's playing off as like the tough guy, like he wasn't. Mm-hmm. Until we sit down for the D&D session. And he announces that he's Oscool Bandawax of the Mirkwood Bandawax's halfling monk. Like he's sitting there, this whole spiel. And I'm just like...
An accent.
Yeah. I'm sitting
you know
there
how
going,
many times
okay.
it took to try and pick his name out of that accent? Like, what the hell, Ravi? No, stop it.
Yeah. I'm actually kind of curious if he tweeted anything during that time.
Oh, he Instagrammed some stuff, but I don't know if it's anything to do. But like Major didn't seem like he was as into it as I thought he would be, and then he was all like, "I'm gonna throw the door," but to see, like Peyton wasn't having it. Peyton was
no.
At all. She said, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, her attitude actually kind of suit the character she picked, though. Like a dark elf assassin. So, like, a nonchalant, I don't give a shit. Let's just end this, we'll just... Like, her suggestion was, why bother going and doing this quest and then getting your reward, where the rewards was just right here and we can just get it right now? Like, that is definitely a dark elf assassin thing to say.
So, yeah. Really, really funny there. He's just like, I don't know what I was attempting with that accent. So.
Yeah, a lot of people, they completely agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's apparently practicing a lip sync battle on Instagram.
That's awesome. Yeah, but we go from Ravi, we go to Major. Major's really into it too, because you see they're buddies. They're always doing the video games, everything together. So they're equally, nerdy together. You got Major being Sir J Exclaborn, the human paladin. Then we have Peyton, who is Brangelina Darksbane. I was like, really? You had to pick a celebrity melded name there, Peyton?
It was funny.
You had to do that? So she plays a dark elf assassin. You're gonna say? Nikki?
No. I was gonna say anything.
I love how Clive started out like he was like, this is stupid, to, we gotta finish this. He was so into it. He was like,
and Clive starts out, he's just like, yeah, I'm Earl. I'm a dwarf fighter. Like, he's totally not into it at all. And then you see Peyton. She tries to leave. She threatens a character in the game, gets herself killed. Ravi's like, you're not getting out that easy. And
I think that was him outreaching to, like, being like, oh, I'm gonna, jump in and save Peyton because I still love her.
Oh,
and
yeah,
she's just
100%.
like, she was like, no, just let me out, please. I have better things to do.
100%.
She did seem to, like, be sort of into it near the end as well. Not as much as the other guys, definitely not as much as Clive.
Clive was in
But
it more than Ravi by the
mm-hmm.
end of it. Because, like, Liv gets a vision of the secret room now that's in Dan's apartment.
Mm-hmm.
And Liv's like, all right, let's go. And Clive is like, no, we are going to find this lich right now. We're not leaving till we kill him. And it's just like, the whole thing, like, I'm going to take the dwarf and I'm going to throw him on the chandelier. And, yeah.
And then Major, Lich, please.
Oh, I know.
Fucking Major. Man.
Oh my god, jeez.
Yeah.
Okay, so to move away from this, I feel bad for Major right now because he just seems lonely, and like when he sees Liv and
Justin,
he looks sad because remember like he was thinking they were gonna get back together and stuff, and then just everything went.
I mean, he's still helping Liv out. He's giving her the brain tubes and but yeah, it's really awkward situation for him because he was just like very intimate with Liv not too long ago, and now here he is playing, the nice guy friend zone.
I mean, I think I said it right. Oh, what was it, last episode or the episode before? That was a goodbye bonk. He didn't know how and if he was going to die in the night while after taking the cure or if he's going to lose his memory right away. So, yeah, it was intimate, but still, I mean...
Still happened.
Yeah. Well, no, but remember when his memory came back, he literally thought he was going to get back with Liv.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, because there's the hope of the cure. Yeah, and then that went down the... Why didn't we get a mention of that this episode? They should have at least, like, kept it on the, like... the cure, I mean, we heard about a non-existent vaccine this episode, but I mean, that's still, like, the cure is kind of important.
Yeah, I know, but it's, like, Major seems like he's moving on this episode, though, because he finds a bunch of hate mail that Ravi has hidden, that has been mailed to the Chaos Killer. So he opens it all, and amongst all the hate, he finds one from this girl named Shauna, who believes him and leaves a picture of herself and her phone number.
Mm-hmm.
And Major, I guess, called and she comes over.
All I could think of was I think there's a TV series was called Prison Wives, and that's all I was thinking about. Like, this is a girl, she's seeking out attention from a guy that has done criminal deeds.
There are girls like that will actually, like, do you know how many, like, there was all these women that wanted to be, like, Charlie Manson's, like, wife and crap?
Yeah.
They're, like, attracted to that just, just like...
Yeah, it's weird, and that's exactly where my head went. Like, so, like, I'm very suspicious of Shauna, because even though she's like, oh, well, I did something, and people don't believe that I didn't do it, and people don't believe me, I'm in the same boat as you. I feel like, no, you did do something, and you feel like Major, you can connect with him because he did something too. I don't know. Like, I don't like her.
Well, I mean, like, he instantly dismisses it. He's just like, yeah, she totally did whatever she said she didn't do. Mm-hmm. And Ravi's like, no, she's cute. Call her, like...
It's because he's lonely. It's because Major's lonely. So
yeah, for sure.
he was...
So. Yeah. I mean, he's...
Find out she's a zombie and she scratches him.
Oh, God, here we go again.
But Ravi also met a girl named Rachel this episode. Right? He was at the zombie truther meeting, and he finds out that they want to capture and expose a zombie. Ravi, kind of all panicky that they're gonna find the zombies and out them to the world, has to kind of out himself and be like, look, I work for the CDC, medical examiner, I found evidence of zombies and all this stuff, and what you guys don't know is one scratch from a zombie will turn you into a zombie.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys cannot engage the zombies, otherwise you're going to create the exact thing you're trying to prevent. I'm really close to a vaccine. It's going to take a couple weeks at most. And, they do some research and they're like, he's telling the truth. Everything adds up. Go back and work on your cure.
Mm-hmm.
So like at this point when he's leaving, that's when he meets Rachel. She takes him a ride back on his motorcycle. We don't hear anything else from them this episode, so I'm kind of curious what happened there. And I definitely don't think this is a one-off thing.
I don't know, because she's there to photograph, like document. She wasn't there to join the kidnapping or anything.
Mm-hmm.
That was her intention. It's not. I don't want to say it's malicious, but I mean, she wants to see them outed, and she wants to be the one that provides the proof. I think that's her deal. At this point, Robbie, he better not trust any of those guys or girl in that whole group. Like, I mean, we did see, what's his name, Billy?
The security guard.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm.
Yeah. So I mean, and he wasn't having. He's like, I don't want to, be involved in murder or kidnapping. He's just like, I just want the truth to come out.
And Clive is sitting there going to Robbie, well, if they're capable of kidnapping, they're capable of murder. They're like, there's no evidence, that they had anything to do with that last incident, No. So we don't really have any leads on that. But we had Blaine also with the scratching post, right? And he's sitting there, and Donnie's his right-hand man again. He's in charge when Blaine's not around. They test out, the super brain formula, and find, they had Donnie's right-hand man try it out and take the visions. And after Donnie saw, let me try this for myself, he takes a huge chunk.
I think it has to do with the amount he took and what piece of brain he took it from. I think that doubled what happened to him. I think that's why he flipped out the way he did. Because you saw, like, Mr. Frizzy hair, I want to call him Carrot Top or something, I don't know. But he got a little shaving, of, like, just like the outer bit of the brain. And Donnie flipped it over, and what was that?
Melon ball, yeah.
Was that the hypothalamus or something? I want to say it's that part of the brain where it's just like it's concentrated neurons and stuff, and like
he took the melon baller right to it.
Yeah, so I mean, he took a lot more than Blaine would have expected. That's why Blaine only gave a little shaving. Like
you
he
saw
expected it.
The super intense visions that Donnie was having. He's standing on the bar, grabbing the tap. And like it's the gun on the back of a plane, a fighter jet.
Yeah, I mean, the other guy documented 5 minutes. It took for it to hit him, and the vision was intense, but it was 2 hours long. When Donnie, it was like almost immediately after he swallowed, Donnie's eyes went whoop. And then who knows how long he was pretending to, like, kill Nazis or something. I don't even know.
What's interesting, too, is we've seen with the different visions and stuff before. Now that we've actually seen them, they just kind of zone out. It's not like they're reenacting what's going on.
Yeah, he was reenacting.
But he was fully taking advantage, like participating in, running all over. Like he kind of knew what was going on. Like he was aware of somewhat his surroundings. He knew there was a beer tap there to grab it, but he didn't see it as a beer tap. He saw it as the handles of a gun, whatever. And he's jumping off the bar stool, he's running out the door, so I mean he's still seeing stuff around him. But then we find out that the zombie truthers kidnapped him while he was tripping out on his super brain. And they show up at Ravi's, and they're just like, yeah, we need to sedate him. And he's like, I thought you guys weren't gonna kidnap a zombie. So now Ravi clearly recognizes him, so Ravi's in a little bit of a predicament.
A bind, yeah.
So I don't know what Ravi's gonna do here.
First off, he does have to sedate Donnie.
Well, for sure, yeah.
Oh, sorry. But yeah, because he's all red-eyed and savage. So yeah, I think if Blaine distributes this brain concoction properly, he's not gonna get these kinds of reactions like Donnie. Like Donnie was very nonchalant about it. He's just like,
Well,
yeah, I'm gonna try this shit.
Blaine's also experimenting with it too. So
Yeah.
he left the brain in the liquid twice as long as Ravi did. So it's even more potent than Ravi's concoction.
Yeah.
You know. So he's still experimenting with it. But we had the mention of the dominatrix again, right? We're still on that case with was it James? Peyton's talking to James's lawyer, I guess. And she's like, look, James would not have spent money on a dominatrix. He was grieving his wife. His wife never would have, all this stuff. And he's just like...
Oh, that wasn't the lawyer. That was his
therapist.
His therapist.
Okay, therapist.
Yeah. So she knew him.
Mm-hmm.
He saw the ghost of his dead wife.
Yeah.
What he was listening.
Yeah. So I did see the preview for next episode, and I want to come back to that. I want to revisit this, the ghost of the dead wife, when we start talking about next week. So.
Well, because I already when I saw bits and pieces, and I went, oh, okay. So I'm guessing she ate. That's the brain she eats. But
that's my assumption as well. But we'll talk about that at the end.
Okay.
We'll talk about that at the end. And then, so we now have the fundraiser, the date that Liv goes on, the political fundraiser, where we meet Chase Graves again, the new guy for Fillmore Graves, and he's sitting there flirting with Liv.
I was about to say, I'm like, he was flirting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
While also trying to get information about the case, and so he's a zombie as well, and because he doesn't want to be outed, he doesn't want the zombies outed. He wants to make sure this is all under control. He's making sure that Liv and Ravi, but he's also concerned that Ravi's human and he doesn't trust Ravi, So,
or Clive. He doesn't. It was Clive that I think he also doesn't trust him.
Yeah. So the mayor comes in, right, and Peyton hasn't had a chance to see him in a long time. So Peyton starts questioning him about some aspects of the dominatrix case, and the mayor basically tells her to let it go. Just drop the case, forget about it. That's when Liv reveals to Peyton that he was one of the dominatrix's clients, and Peyton's like, give me all the juicy details, and they go and walk off. So there's definitely a bit more to this case, and it's going on. And I'm curious if it's going to tie back now to the case that we dealt with this episode with Dungeon Master Dan, because in that secret room that he had, we had what looked like a map to blueprints for a Russian power plant. And upon finding this room, that's when the feds come in and they take over the case. So that's why we didn't get a conclusion on it. Basio is there, and she and Clive have an interaction. She's like, look, you were right about Major. He's not a mass murderer. He's just a mass kidnapper. So, Clive's like, look, I'm lost without you. And, she just shoots him down, gets into her Uber.
An Uber.
Just kind of walks away,
No, she clearly said, I can't trust you with anything, because I think she does know that, he did a few little shady things, like getting Major out of jail and stuff like that. So, I mean, I wouldn't trust him. He's kind of going against the morals of his job to help a friend. But
so I'm curious now if this is going to tie back to this dominatrix case, if there's something going on with these two cases.
I was wondering that too, because you get a lot of weird big, these little cases that seem like little cases, but they're bigger than they are.
Yeah, they're very little, but they're still going on. When we've had major cases that end in the same episode, and this dominatrix case has been dragged out now for 3 to 4 episodes, and then here we are with this one, with this little dungeon master thing. It doesn't seem like a big deal. We find out there's another layer to it, but once again, it's not concluded here. The dominatrix was the first case that we've ever dealt with that spread over, multiple episodes. At least, first major case, I want to say. We may have had 1 or 2 more, and we've had stuff with a murder's gone on that's not something Liv has taking on with Clive as a case that's lasted, for multiple episodes. We've definitely had some side plots that have dealt with murder and mystery and stuff that have taken place with more, but not the police plots anyway. And here we are now, our second one this season. Like, we don't get them ever, and now we have 2 in one season. So I definitely think there's more to it. And I think that's why the mayor got shot, right? And I think it also involves the zombie truthers, because
of course
they're trying to out the zombies. They know he's on the list of potential zombies, and if they shoot him and he lives and he's he's out, whatever they call it, that's proof, that's what they're trying to get. So while he's shot and he's on the verge of Zing out, Liv's there, and she's just like, look, you got to calm down, and telling everybody, I'm a doctor, get out of my face, like she's trying to keep him calm. So, unfortunately gets shot right in front of his son, so his son's all worried now. So his son, I'm assuming, is human. I don't think his son was scratched or anything like that.
Yeah, he didn't seem.
He might have been in the commotion because his daddy did grab him pretty violently to protect him. But I mean, the only reason why Liv was in the vicinity was because she was going after what's his face, Chase, because he shot. She heard that he shot Justin in the gut.
Yeah.
So she was going at him to pick a bone with him, but
and that's definitely not over either.
No.
So.
No, because now it seems like he's getting his flirt on with Liv.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. And then we had Blaine reading the newspaper about this, the mayor getting shot and all that. And he's sitting outside the well where he threw his father at the bottom, just throwing little chunks of brain down the well, just having a conversation with Dad. Dad's not responding, so I'm curious, is he even still in the well?
He's underwater.
Well, I think he's underwater / like, he just can't vocalize up the well very well. Like, it's just deep. I don't know. Maybe he doesn't want to say anything because he's obviously not gagged. So, I mean, otherwise, why would Blaine start throwing food down the well for him? Like he's trying to feed birds or something at a park.
Yeah.
Well, I think he's underwater. So, I mean, it's like real interesting once, obviously I don't think he's going to be able to eat the brain that goes in there, but maybe, I don't know. But if he ever gets pulled out, he's going to be super, like, zombified, and he's going to be, like, waterlogged, and it's going to be gross.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I know on The Walking Dead we've seen zombies at the bottom of wells that, still have water in them that they've been in for a very long time. We see what happens to them on that. So, I'm kind of curious what kind of effect it does in this zombie world, because it's slightly different. So, yeah, it'd be interesting. I think he's not there. I think somebody took him out already, but I don't know. We'll have to see. And then the very, very, very end of the episode, we get Mr. Boss back. He said he's long enough in Seattle to settle some old debts and wants to get his money.
So, probably targeting Peyton and Blaine.
More than likely.
Mm-hmm.
More than likely. So, it's going to be interesting to have Mr. Boss back. But going into like I was mentioning before with the James Dominatrix case, the reason why I think that Liv is going to eat James's brain is next episode is called Return of the Dead Guy. Things are not always what they seem. Peyton and Liv find themselves on a surprising wild goose chase. Ravi is terrified when the zombie truth hunter's plans are revealed. Elsewhere, Major finds comfort in an unexpected and perhaps unwelcome friend. In the preview for next episode, Liv's ex-boyfriend, the one who died, Drake, starts showing up in places that he should not be, like in bed with Liv while she's sleeping with someone else. I think in the preview it was Justin.
Mm-hmm.
So she's in bed with Justin.
She wanted to take him home.
Yeah, she's in bed with Justin, and there's Drake laying in bed next to her on the other side, having a conversation with her. So she's seeing him, the ghost of him, you know? So
are we?
He's not
are
really
we?
there. She's the only one that could see him. And there's another moment where she's like turned around on the couch, like talking to the wall, and Peyton says something about,
she's making out. She's making out with like.
Yeah. And Peyton says, my zombie roommate's having a conversation with a ghost. That's normal, something like that. So, I don't know. It was kind of funny.
So are we going to, get our hopes up and say, oh, they're finally stepping into the other supernatural details of the iZombie universe, or is it just...
No, this is the brain. This is all the brain.
The brain, yeah.
Damn it! They're doing... Why can't they do this? I mean,
iZombie has been renewed for season 4. It's official. That is a thing. So we have time. There's plenty of time. I think.
I just don't want it to everybody's like, yeah, this the show's gonna go on for a while, and then they have all these big plans. They're gonna bring in the supernatural elements, and then all of a sudden, it's just like, oh no, we can't do it, and then we miss out on all that extra, like the were-dog and the ghosts and all the special spirits that they're supposed to be, and yeah, I want to see that.
The Undersoul.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I think that's about it. You guys have anything else? No?
Mm-mm.
All right, Nikki, where can the people find you?
On Twitter at LadyVenom24, LadyVenom24.
Awesome. Kim, where can the people find you?
And Twitter at HUFFI2I, PUFFI2I.
You can find me down below at Phenomenon, PHENOMEDOM. You can find us all and more on Facebook, Gmail, G+, Twitter, MySpace, and right here on YouTube at /ASOTVpodcast for some more podcasts for some of your favorite TV shows, games, and movies. Until next time, see you guys later. I like that simultaneous hands up, wave, simultaneous stop, and simultaneous drop your hands. That was fantastic. Good job. You guys should become synchronized swimmers.
Huh.